In the stillness of a chilly winter night over 2,000 years ago, a world-changing event took place in a tiny, unassuming town. Bethlehem, a name whispered in prophecies, became the backdrop for the birth of a child who would alter the course of history. But what was life really like on that extraordinary night? What struggles did Mary and Joseph endure to bring Jesus into the world? And how does the true story of Christmas deepen our understanding of this sacred season? Journey with us as we uncover the historical and biblical truths of that miraculous night. Bethlehem, though small, was steeped in rich history. Known as the City of David, it held deep significance for the Jewish people as the birthplace of King David, the shepherd boy who became Israel's greatest king. In the first century, Bethlehem was a modest village, with homes often carved into the limestone hills. These dwellings were simple, typically consisting of 1 or 2 rooms. The lower level often served as a shelter for animals, while the family lived above. Life in Bethlehem was largely agrarian. Families grew olives, figs, and grains, and shepherds roamed the nearby fields tending their flocks. The rhythms of life were dictated by the seasons and the religious calendar, with Sabbath observance and festivals playing a central role in the community. Despite its quiet existence, Bethlehem's prominence in Jewish prophecy made it a place of great anticipation, especially among those awaiting the coming of the Messiah. For the Jewish people living under Roman rule, life was marked by both resilience and oppression. Heavy taxation and the constant presence of Roman soldiers reminded them of their subjugation. Yet they clung to the hope of deliverance, as foretold by prophets like Micah, who declared, "But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel." Micah 5:2. The Roman Empire was an expansive and highly organized entity, and censuses were a critical tool for maintaining control. Ordered by Caesar Augustus, the census mentioned in Luke 2:1 was a means of registering individuals for taxation. This decree required people to return to their ancestral homes, a logistical challenge that uprooted countless families across the empire. For Joseph, a descendant of King David, this meant traveling from Nazareth in Galilee to Bethlehem in Judea, a journey of approximately 90 miles. This was no small feat. The roads were treacherous, winding through rugged terrain and sometimes plagued by bandits. Travel was typically done on foot, though Mary, heavily pregnant, likely rode on a donkey. The journey would have taken several days, marked by cold nights and the physical strain of traversing such a distance. The census itself was a stark reminder of Roman dominance. It symbolized the reach of an empire that controlled vast territories and sought to quantify its subjects for taxation and military conscription. For the Jewish people, this decree was yet another burden imposed by foreign rulers, underscoring their longing for liberation. Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem was not just a physical trek, it was a journey of faith. Mary, a young woman chosen by God to bear his son, carried not only the weight of her unborn child, but also the profound responsibility of her divine calling. Joseph, her betrothed, displayed remarkable courage and obedience, choosing to stand by Mary despite the societal stigma surrounding her pregnancy. The journey would have been arduous. Mary, nearing the end of her pregnancy, faced physical discomfort and emotional strain, yet her faith in God's promise sustained her. Joseph, too, leaned on his faith, navigating the challenges of protecting and providing for his family. Along the way, they may have encountered other travelers, some sympathetic, others indifferent, as they made their way to the crowded town of Bethlehem. Upon arriving in Bethlehem, Mary and Joseph found the town overwhelmed by visitors. Every inn was full, leaving them with limited options. The phrase, "there was no room in the inn," Luke 2:7, has been widely interpreted, but in the cultural context of first-century Judea, it likely referred to the guest rooms of homes. Hospitality was a cornerstone of Jewish culture, and families often opened their homes to travelers. However, with the influx of people due to the census, even these spaces were filled. Mary and Joseph likely found shelter in a space where animals were kept, possibly a cave or the lower level of a house. It was here, in these humble surroundings, that Jesus was born. Wrapped in swaddling cloths and placed in a manger, the Son of God entered the world in the most unassuming of circumstances. The imagery is striking. The creator of the universe born among the animals, highlighting the humility and simplicity of his mission. The first to hear the news of Jesus' birth were shepherds, a detail rich in symbolism. Shepherds, though essential to the economy, were often regarded as lowly and unclean by societal standards. Yet it was to these humble figures that the angelic host appeared, proclaiming, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord." Luke 2:10-11. The shepherds' response was immediate. They hurried to Bethlehem, where they found Mary, Joseph, and the baby lying in the manger. Overwhelmed with awe, they spread the word, becoming the first evangelists of the good news. Their inclusion in the Nativity story underscores the accessibility of Christ's message. It is for everyone, regardless of status or background. Though often depicted as part of the Nativity scene, the visit of the Magi likely occurred sometime after Jesus' birth. These wise men from the East were scholars, possibly astrologers, who studied the stars. Guided by a celestial phenomenon, the Star of Bethlehem, they embarked on a journey to find the newborn King of the Jews. Their arrival in Jerusalem caused a stir, particularly with King Herod, who saw the news as a threat to his rule. Herod's reaction was one of fear and paranoia, leading to the horrific massacre of innocent children in an attempt to eliminate any potential rival. The Magi, however, were warned in a dream not to return to Herod. They found Jesus in a house where they offered gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, each symbolizing aspects of his identity and mission: kingship, divinity, and sacrifice. The true story of Christmas is a tapestry of prophecy fulfilled, faith tested, and divine love revealed. Every detail, from the journey to Bethlehem to the angelic proclamation, points to the profound reality of God's plan to redeem humanity. Jesus' humble birth reminds us that greatness is not found in power or wealth, but in servitude and sacrifice. Bethlehem, the town of David, became the stage for the greatest story ever told, a story that continues to inspire and transform lives. The message of Christmas is one of hope, peace, and salvation, inviting all to embrace the gift of God's love. As we reflect on the true story of Christmas, we are reminded of the simplicity and depth of God's plan. In a world often consumed by chaos and complexity, the birth of Christ offers a beacon of hope. It is a call to faith, a reminder of God's presence in our lives, and an invitation to share his love with others. May we carry the spirit of Bethlehem in our hearts, cherishing the humble beginnings of the Savior who changed the world.